healthcare is a terrible thing not to be able to have. Right? You don't want to walk around knowing that I could step in a pothole and then that leg could never be fixed because there's no healthcare on offer. But we have a very, very well-established public healthcare system that is funded dramatically. And yet people can't go and get the healthcare that taxpayers pay for. Are you then surprised why people are saying this is possibly not the place to extend, when the funds that are given to the people responsible for the healthcare aren't doing what they're meant to do?
And on public-private partnership comment, if I can jump in, I don't want to be the private side where the public side are a bunch of morons that have screwed the thing up over 30 years. I don't want them as my partner. I'd rather have full privatization than work with morons every day. So PPP doesn't work. It's worked at Telkom, but I mean, I don't want them as my partners.
Why do you have morons on the other side? You voted for the morons.
I didn't.
You didn't, yeah, but the majority of people voted for those
Well,
morons.
the majority of morons,
So
they need
what
to
you
change
are
their
saying
minds.
that ANC must foot tag, right? Is what the Botswana people did. They didn't do half measures. They gave that party 3 seats after 5 decades.
Yeah.
We have given them 40.
After
right?
3 decades.
They gave them 40 and they took 75% of the cabinet. So we shouldn't be surprised, right? So we're getting exactly what we deserve as South Africans, right? So I agree with you for a different reason. I'm saying the ANC has had its chance, so that the public sector must be a place of pride for all of us to go and work there and make the place work.
Because you mentioned the amount spent on education has been massively increased.
Yeah.
We have the worst education results in the world. So it doesn't matter what the government money has and what they spend, they are screwing it up.
Then you must get better people in government. That's what I'm saying.
Correct. Get rid of the ANC. Footsack ANC. Let's get the good people.
But what I'm saying is that I think the point that we need to deal with people like ourselves that have microphones and have access to people, seriously, I'm saying this now in all seriousness, is that we've got the government that we've got. We can do nothing about it as we sit here until 2029. Other than
We can start with 2026.
we can start with 2026, but I suppose what we can do is instead of trying to hide the failures of the state by saying, well, they're also rich people, or there's a functional private medical health care, that how can we do that while other people have no access to health care? I don't see how that solves the problem. I think that compounds the problem more than it solves.
That's true. The issue is you voted a government that's incompetent into office, right? So all your public sector stuff, schools and so on and so on, you then have a need to go private because the public one is not working. Even the same government don't send their kids to the public schools, don't send themselves to the public hospital that they built for all of us, right? And I'm not saying that therefore politics will solve everything, right? I'm saying that all of the public, the social partners must do their part, right, in ensuring, right, that the economy is different. The fact that we are growing at 0% can't be only the fault of government. There's no way. With the private sector, that's fantastic.
No, it's
that
the
is
fault of
awarded
government.
around the world.
Okay.
It's entirely the fault of government, 100%.
Not entirely.
There's 1.8 trillion rand of cash on corporate balance sheets in South Africa, and they're not investing it. Why they're not investing it? Because we're overregulated, because BEE destroys value, because EWC hangs over our head as a destructive entity, because every single policy the government puts in place and all the execution the government puts in place is a disaster and is a failure. And that's why the corporates don't want to invest. You can't blame them. You've got these morons in government screwing the country up, and no foreign direct investment, and no corporates in South Africa want to invest because of that. Get a proper government that fixes what we have instead of creating something new. Why do NHI? Fix what we have. But the
Business,
but that Aaron moron Motsoaledi in charge of, he doesn't know how to do it.
Wait.
None of them do.
But business people, unlike you, are cowards, okay? They have not been able to take on that government, those policies. They are funding the same government. They are funding the same political parties to do wrong policies. They are cowards, right?
Look,
Fully, I think we agree. there.
I
them are
agree on
cowards.
that, by the way. I agree on that.
Yeah.
Corporate South Africa
Because-
are spineless. Cyril's spineless. Corporate South Africa is spineless. I agree.
It's
Can
from
we?
corporate.
Can
Corporate
we-
South Africa has real power.
Okay, so if we could go to part of the way I see it as part of the problem,
Yeah.
I am fiercely, not just a little bit, but fiercely anti-BE. And I'll tell you why.
All right.
Because I think that just makes the problem worse.
How?
Because what you're saying is keep the same companies dominating our economy. We're just going to change the complexion of some of the key staff members, right? Because the rank and file members has changed.
Yeah.
It's the boardroom we're discussing. As if putting in a black CEO, he's going to behave differently. Well, that's absolute nonsense, because we've seen, for example, Standard Bank run by a black CEO, many mining companies. They behave exactly like business people. That's their job, right? The right answer
So you must
here-
leave the white corporates who benefited for 4 decades
No.
here, leave them alone
No.
to be as untransformed as they are.
No,
Is that what you're
I'm
saying?
I'm saying we're transforming one South African for another, because that's, in essence, the problem here.
Yeah.
Is I do not feel like anything but a South African. So therefore,
Because
we
you haven't
must-
transformed. That's why. You have
I-
not transformed.
am I-
Look at the corporate, how the JSE
Okay.
is owned. It's owned 70% by foreign or white interests,
Well,
and a,
no,
and a
hang on, hang on.
sprinkling
We've
of
had-
blacks and
Hang on,
women.
hang on. The PIC,
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
come on, don't tell me about the PIC. You know they are in collapse.
but
the
they're
PIC
the biggest shareholder.
owned the biggest shareholder in
but-
all the corporates in South
Yeah,
Africa. The
I've,
PIC is.
I've
Their
had-
pension fund,
I've
it's
had
not
this-
their core business.
So the
to run-
PIC
to run
doesn't
business.
count.
sorry, I've
The
had this.
white corporates are to blame, but we're not going to look at the PIC.
I've had this
PIC is
argument
black
on the
run.
show with the Black Business Council, where, according to those numbers, every pension fund investment from the PIC to life policies is deemed to be white money, even though more of the life policies now are held by black South Africans. So, lies, and damn statistics. It's very easy to get these things working the way we want to work. But surely the solution over here in South Africa would be to grow more businesses, not to change the complexions of the current ones. Otherwise, we're still going to shop at ShopRite. We're still going to bank at ABSA. We're still going to do Vodacom.
I want to see black
Because-
entrepreneurs coming out, building great businesses, competing
Exactly.
with
But
all the
guys, can you go and read the BE legislation? There's a pillar there that's called enterprise development. What does it mean? It means that if you are a big business, right, it could be something that would be good for you to do to create, right, partners with small businesses.
Turkeys don't
and
vote
bring
for
it.
Christmas. JJ, sorry, I've never seen a business out there or a business person that goes out to create their own competitor. So that's the most ridiculous idea I've ever heard.
It's not
ever.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous only because white businesses want to stick or stay with their privilege, right? We can't build
What?
the country on that basis.
White privilege is a bullshit
Right.
narrative. I'm sorry.
It's
It's not even a
Grow
narrative.
up.
It's not even a narrative. I mean,
can
you
we-
were born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Golden
right?
spoon. Golden spoon.
Can
You
we
were. You
can we agree on one thing? You know, there's
You're
a
part
thing.
being a
communist.
toddler.
What you're talking about
James,
is
we can just-
borderline communism.
Can we just keep
is borderline?
this? Every human being wants
Yeah.
to keep their privilege,
Yeah.
right? There's not one person in the world that gets to a privileged position that suddenly says, you know what, I've got too much privilege. Yeah, I have half of it.
Yeah.
I've never heard
That's
of
why
that.
you need activists, because he's trying
Okay.
to say to his own colleagues in
that's why-
business,
that's
they are
why-
cowards.
No,
What
no,
what
that's
does that
why-
mean? That means that they must get out of their shells and do something that is bigger and better for the country, and not just for their profit.
That's why we need entrepreneurs that can grow those businesses and take that share of the profit away from people that are dominating industries and in some cases doing it inefficiently. But I want to get on to another conversation because, once again, to land this at the door of the people that probably did be the biggest disservice ever is the state.
Yeah, sure.
Because there we've got a organization running the biggest businesses in the country.
Yeah.
Healthcare, education, carry on, you can
Railways.
be all day. and they're running every one of them badly and using that as an advert for black-run organizations.
Do you know an interesting thing Julius Malema said to me when I met him once, and once only, at a lunch? He said, BEE is a failure and will fail. What companies should have done, instead of giving Patrice and Moss and Goshang 30% of every business, is give 25 to 30% of the business to their black employees, or to the black employees. Empower them as shareholders.
Be partner? Let me interrogate that a little bit.
I agree with that.
Let me interrogate that a little bit. When you get into if you and I get into a partnership, a business partnership, right, 50-50, right? It means that we can consult each other on decisions that we are going to make the business grow. You bring something to the table, I bring something to the table. For me, that's how a business, forget BEE, business partnership must work, okay? Now, what has happened is that companies, right, in trying to tick a box of compliance, they bring a black person, right, who has no clue about the business. Let's start there. No clue in that industry, no skills in that industry, just so that they can tick the box. I've worked for a company like that, where a former minister, who will remain nameless, was on the board.
Why should he
and,
remain
and we were in a one-day strategy session. At 11 o'clock at tea, he leaves.
Must have been Cyril.
I won't say who it was. But by the time it was 5 o'clock and we were now talking even transformation, which could have been his agenda, the whole room was lily white.
Could we, shouldn't we start there by saying, why should we stop naming? Why shouldn't we name those people? Why shouldn't we shame them, right? Yeah, if you ask me, and it's what I've tried to do on State of the Nation, let's name those people that are just sitting there as passive shareholders. Yeah. Right? So
there are too many. Don't you know Dennis Abaloi, who was sitting on 60 boards?
Yeah, I mean, it's
60.
crazy.
I don't know when she reads her board pack. 60.
Okay, can
you
we?
know? 60. No jokes.
Right.
So I'm not afraid of naming anybody. I'm just dealing with the essence here, right?
But
that when you say 30% and you cry, it means 70% is still owned by white people.
So what?
Exactly. So what? That's
So
your problem. The
what?
problem is that you think it's still 1980.
Why?
It's not 1980 anymore. You have to wake up to that reality. The reality is that this country must be diverse. Its economy must be diverse. And if it's not, your walls are not going to protect you. You think that Egypt was a joke when there was a rising there and it can't happen here. It will happen here.
Bullshit.
It will happen, Rob.
Bullshit.
You and I may be dead, but it will happen.
Bring it on. Shit.
No, we'll be dead.
You're acting like the ANC and the GNU. You're saying, oh, you've got to be scared of MK. The rising bullshit.
No, don't be scared.
Look what
of
happened
MK.
in the KZN.
Yeah.
That fucking fizzled out. Yeah. Rising my foot.
No, I'm not afraid of EFF. I'm not afraid of MK.
There will be no civil unrest.
I'm not afraid of ANC or DA, right? I think that in each of these parties, Rob, there are good people. And you can't deny that. I didn't deny it. Yeah, and we need a system in this country where we can be able to get all those people together to save this country.
It isn't the national dialogue, I can tell you that.
Can we move this along before I do have to swap seats?
No,
Right.
we're conversing.
Let's talk about, because I think what has happened in South Africa is that, with respect, we all make this assumption. There seems to be an assumption that, for example, you may have even said it today, do you not believe that white people do not want South Africa to succeed, thrive, and black people to get rich? If we own so much of the economy, we would love black people to get rich so that we got more consumers. We are the people most incentivized to have this place working. Why is there this belief, just because somebody wants to keep what they built, that is some sign that the person doesn't believe that they want the country to succeed?
I would just look at numbers, right? I don't believe that affirmative action, for example, has disadvantaged white people because it has been so badly implemented. Even if it was to disadvantage people, these people don't get it the right to do it, right? And you all have to look at employment numbers at the top echelons where people are earning properly, right? You've got a lot of white people still holding positions, which is a good thing because it means that the New South Africa didn't throw them out. It brought them in. They became even richer, some of them.
Guys,
you
want to empower people? educate them. And you know where the ANC has failed spectacularly, and the Nationalist Party were to blame, and the ANC has done nothing to fix it. So in 30 years later, we have the worst education results in the world. You want to empower people, educate them.
Do you believe in free education?
No,
It's
I don't
common.
even free anything.
So it shouldn't. So they are poor. They are 50% of the countries below the breadline, but they must
Because of the
they must
ANC.
educate themselves.
Because of the ANC.
Yeah, but then why don't
Give
you
me
change that?
I will. Give me 100 days to run this country. I will have 3%
Why
economic growth.
Why don't you stand? Why don't you stand
Because
for
the
election?
system, what do I have to do? Form a political
But
party?
you've been praising the DA.
Be
Why
another
don't you join the
Musi.
DA? Maybe they'll make you the mayor of
Helen's
Joburg.
good enough.
No,
They're good
Helen
en-
must retire. Are there no other leaders in the DA?
Helen will fix Johannesburg.
Can we ask a couple of questions? Yeah, just around some of the tropes, that have crept into the South African conversation, and I'm not 100% sure they're helpful at all.
Yeah.
This thing around inequality. Do you know how it's calculated? It's the most ridiculous statistic in the world, of which about 20% of the countries participate. You take the richest people and you subtract the poorest people from the richest people.
Okay.
If you want equality, go to Malawi. Go to the Central African Republic. Those places are equal.
They're all poor.
Everybody's
You
poor.
mean they're all poor?
Yes, those are the only equal countries you get. Any prosperous country is unequal. Right? That is just a fact of life, because you can create wealth.
So it's not true that we are the most unequal society necessarily. You're saying
No,
we
no.
are unequal, but we are in the good company of other countries that are unequal.
What I'm saying is we're of the countries who participate in this crazy statistic, we're the worst, right? But we're in very good company with prosperous countries. All I'm saying is that it's a bullshit statistic.
But isn't the sentiment just because it's a contrast? We are sitting here having a 5-star breakfast, and just 2 kilometers from here, there are people who are sharing their abodes with rats.
Okay. If we can
In
talk
Alex.
about
If
those
we had
people,
5% economic growth, there wouldn't
we
be.
wouldn't be there. Exactly.
There'll be no rats
Yeah.
in the Alex.
We would,
So we'd have everybody benefiting.
right. so
This government has no idea. This
But we
GNU,
did grow at 5% during Mbeki.
we did.
that was
And-
20, 15,
Yeah,
20 years ago.
Yeah, but people are still starving.
No, wait, let's go back to the Mbeki era, because this needs some interrogation.
Yeah.
We did, in fact, grow at 5%.
Yeah.
And we were adding 500,000 jobs a year, which we did for 6 years, right? 3 million people got jobs, additional jobs. And we know what the dependency rate is in South Africa. So in other words, were people's lives getting better? Considerably. Will you be able to find poor people? We know, because every day you can watch CNN and find poor Americans. Yes, there are poor people in rich countries.
There's
Everywhere.
poor people
right?
everywhere. Yeah.
Some people within the ANC managed to convince other people that they should worry about poorer people because the growth everybody wasn't getting rich. Right? I'm saying we can't employ everybody immediately.
Yeah.
500,000 jobs added a year is a good return.
Good number,
Not according to Zwelin Zimavavi. So he and his mates decide, let's bring in Jacob Zuma, and we've since lost millions.
He regrets now, man.
Well,
Forgive the guy.
Thanks very much. I tell you what, we can't pour enough scorn on them. So we've dealt with the inequality thing. The other thing, perhaps we can stop. Can we stop about this ticking time bomb bullshit? To Rob's point, for the simple reason that how much worse does it have to get before black people come over the hill? I'm flipping old, eh? It's my birthday next week and I turn 62 and I've been hearing about this ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Will it just fucking explode already? I mean, for God's sakes. Stop it as a threat. What is a threat?
Well, I think
of
the
a ticking time
PW
bomb?
board that didn't also think that 94 will come.
I don't care about the point is nobody, I've got a
The
wonderful...
current government is behaving exactly like PW board, that they think they're too big to be overthrown by the people.
No, we just don't believe in that bullshit.
Yeah, but the point is this. I don't think, I've lived in this crazy country my whole life, and I've never felt threatened, right, in general. I've never felt that people...
So you don't think apartheid was a ticking time bomb when it happened?
Not overly. Not overly. And I've got a story.
I think it was because so many people died before 94 because they were trying to get a better deal.
You know what?
And right now we need a better deal, but we don't need anybody to die first.
We
made
a considerable...
From these
ticking time
ideas here, we can build a nation if we just build the bridges.
But-
We're not going to build the bridges by any extreme. Sometimes you are on the very far extreme, right? And that's sometimes
Thank goodness.
make it difficult to implement anything you are saying because so extreme, even if you got into power, you
No,
won't be able to
free
implement it.
markets. If you've got half a brain, look at Argentina. Look at Argentina. 50, 60 years of socialist rule, bullshit ideology, and in 1 year, Javier Milei,
Nobody's calling
free
for
market
socialism.
libertarian,
Yeah.
free market libertarian, has turned that economy around in 1 year. All of you who believe in this bullshit ANC, racist, socialist crap are morons. Free market works.
Okay, and there's a proof to that.
Yeah.
And that is many young
Start
black
singing,
professionals. Many young black professionals have started to immigrate. That's the sad truth. My daughter's a CA in London.
Yeah.
She goes to a meeting of Psycho in London, and about 3/4 of the 200 people in the room are black. Right?
Yeah, that's,
Why are
I
they
think that's an
choosing-
anecdote, right?
No,
the
why-
issue is that lots of people like Rob who have come back to
No,
the
no.
country because they love this
Yes,
country.
but why are those
And those are
youngsters-
the people we need to focus on. People
No.
who are here, who are debating what should take the country forward.
JJ.
Not people who said, oh, it's too much, let me
JJ,
leave.
we're talking about young people whose careers they've chosen to not even
The
start.
world is a village. You can
Okay.
work anywhere. You can
But-
go to
but
Australia.
The question,
Who
the
cares?
question that I'm asking,
Yeah.
that I want to ask, isn't about those people. Let them
Yeah.
go, let them learn, let them come back when they come back.
Yes.
Why are they choosing to go to free market countries?
No, they're
If-
choosing to go to any country that gives them opportunities
But
because
South
the
Africa
Which
world,
free market countries.
unlike in the past, South Africa is no longer locked out of the world. We have access to the whole world. I can work in London tomorrow if I want to, right? And that's what we need to be able to get our young people to understand. That don't say 60% young people unemployed here. No, but we can go and work elsewhere in the world, right? And we need to create an environment that will make sure that, as you are saying,
I agree.
educate them, skill them, so that their skills can be needed in India, in Dubai, everywhere else.
And they come back.
Right.
I
And they
agree.
come back to build the country, retire here, like you are doing.
Right. So let's wrap this up because, as I said earlier, you guys have to go back to what's left of the economy. And go back to where and transform, for fuck's sakes. Come on, man. Jesus.
Can
Mikey-
you please
Mikey,
transform?
listen
Just
to
do
him.
yourself a
Say
favor.
to him, fire yourself and employ somebody else.
So I want to thank all of you. You saw me getting wound up here, and that is why I need to take a break, okay? Because I get so frustrated and angry about what's happening to this country, and I want South Africa to succeed. I don't want there to people be on the corner begging and the people suffering and kids having no future. I want everybody to succeed in this country, and I believe free markets is the only way. You know that. I'm not going to bang on about it. But I get wound up, I get frustrated, I get angry. I need to take a break. Please forgive me if I got heated, abused people, got angry. That isn't me. That isn't the me I want to be. Thank you, everyone. See you in a few months.
Wait, thank you. I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time, and this was a good opportunity, but I think we can have even a longer debate, right? South Africans need to talk. I know that you think it shouldn't cost R1 billion. Yes, it shouldn't. It shouldn't cost us R1 billion to talk. But I don't think we must switch off the channel between us to show each other the way we can make this country work, right? Because each of us have ideas. Some of them may be extreme. Some may be manageable and implementable, right? But at the end, I think the truth lies somewhere in between, where we can make this country, this great country work.
And let's thank Mike.
Right.
Here's the State of the Nation. Give me a hug. State of the Nation, Mike Sham.
Right. So, seeing as though these gentlemen got to say something, I'm going to say that thank you for coming to our political therapy session. Right? And I would like to say that we do State of the Nation not because we are negative in South Africa. We do it because we're positive about South Africa.
Yeah.
I believe in this country, and I feel 100% South African. I don't feel anything else. Therefore, it's very hard to get into this old thick skull that I'm not South African, and just because you're black, you're more South African. I don't believe that. There's no part of me that will ever believe that. Therefore, I don't understand why we discriminate one against the other. I do think that the ANC has successfully polarized the discussion so that we end up having arguments like this with two gentlemen who both want the best for the country. So stay tuned, we'll keep it going, and we'll hold everybody to account and have hot conversations. We're not scared of them.
Thank you very much.
But we're going to close off by thanking everybody for attending and to thank our speakers for their contributions today. And let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you all for coming today.